Now, from the area's leader in live local news, this is WYLN News, the area's #1 source of live local news and information in Luzerne, Schuylkill, Carbon, and Columbia counties. WYLN News starts now.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on WYLN News. I'm Preston Endress. The reason for the declared mistrial in the case of former Hazleton police officer has been released. Liddell Hannon is facing charges after officials say he detonated an explosion outside the home of his estranged wife's boyfriend in Klein Township in December of 2021. According to the defendant's attorney, a mistrial was declared in the case because the prosecutors had not provided certain documents to the defense prior to the proceedings. Hannon's attorney, Mark Hinrichs, said he motioned for a mistrial after it became apparent that certain documents had been withheld by the prosecution relating to the testimony of Hannon's wife, Danielle Hannon. However, Hinrichs said he did not believe the mistake was intentional. A status conference on the schedule has been scheduled for Friday at 10:30 a.m. Following the conference, a new jury will be selected and a new trial date will be scheduled. Hannon remains behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison in lieu of a $1 million bail. The death of a Huntington Township woman in a 1970 cold case has been ruled a homicide. A jury ruled on Tuesday that another person contributed to the death of 22-year-old Alanka Ken. The verdict was reached by the 6-member coroner jury, who reached the verdict without the body ever being found. The Pennsylvania Attorney General's office will now decide if criminal homicide charges will be pursued in the case. A man from Hazleton is in custody after police say he broke into a residence and stole a pair of women's underwear. Eugene Ronald Babula III is behind bars after police say they arrived on the scene at the 300 block of Windy Hill Road in Hazel Township and saw Babula in the residence. Officers say Babula III broke a $1,200 window to enter the home in order to steal a pair of pink women's underwear. According to police, the underwear was still on this person at the time of his arrest. Babula III has been charged with 1 count of theft, 1 count of burglary, 1 count of criminal mischief, and 1 count of possessing a small amount of marijuana in connection with the incident. He is currently behind bars at the Luzerne County Correctional Facility on a $40,000 bail. A man was arrested in Hazleton after failing to stop for police. Andrew Cruz Almonte was arrested after officers say they saw him traveling at a high rate of speed near the Galaxy Bar and Grill at approximately 2:15 a.m. on Friday, March 1st. Police say Cruz Almonte failed to yield to lights and sirens and continued traveling on South Church Street before pulling over for police on the Chamber of Commerce Beltway. Almonte Cruz has been charged with fleeing and eluding, among with other traffic offenses. He was taken into custody without incident. A third man is behind bars in connection with a robbery that occurred at a Scranton laundromat. Larry Wilson is in custody after police say he robbed 2 individuals in the Bubbles laundromat on Cedar Avenue on February 18th. 2 other suspects have been arrested in connection with the robbery. Reginald Delroy Thompson and James McClure were arrested in February in connection with the incident. Wilson is currently behind bars at the Lackawanna County Prison, with his preliminary hearing scheduled for March 19th. 3 people were arrested after Mahanoy City Police and other units approached the residence where people were squatting. Mahanoy City Police say they were joined by the Pennsylvania State Parole Fugitive Apprehension Search Team and other units to execute a search warrant at the residence located at 338 West Center Street. Cheyenne Place, Karen Rimsky, and Nicholas Mosher were all taken into custody on warrants. Mosher and Place have been wanted by state parole, while Rimsky was wanted by Schuylkill County Domestic Relations. Rimsky is facing charges for possession of controlled substances stemming from the incident in Mahanoy City. The Pittston City Police Department is investigating a series of possible vehicle break-ins. The break-ins are reported to be happening in the area of Maple Lane. If you have any information regarding the suspect shown on screen, you are asked to call the Pittston Police Department at 570-654-0513. Coming up on WYLN News, the first Director of Emergency Services is appointed in Luzerne County. Plus, the statewide Work Zone Speed Safety Camera program is here to stay. But first, we'll take a look at our 5-day forecast brought to you by the WYLN Weather Kids. We'll be right back.
My name is Abby, and now we're going to be cloudy.
Weather Kids is brought to you by Lehigh Valley Hospital, Hazleton. Your health deserves a partner.
We want your child to be our WYLN Weather Kid. Your child can be our feature weather reporter of the day on WYLN News and WYLN social media posts, just by using your smartphone or any video recording device. It's easy. All ages are welcome, from toddlers to teens. To find out how, go to the weather section of WYLNTV.com or look for our post about it on the WYLN News Facebook page. Submit your Weather Kid video today. There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Do you like craft beer? Do you want to learn the right way to sample wine? How about checking out a restaurant with a unique flavor or a crazy food challenge? These are just some of the things we are featuring on Wine, Hops, and Road Stops. So, spend some time learning about great wine, great beer, and great food on WYLN TV 35.
Hello, I'm WYLN historian Chris Fulmer. Pennsylvania's communities are filled with interesting history. Come with me as we discover the people, events, industries, and other historic facets of local towns.
Welcome back to WYLN News. Lucy Morgan has been named the first Director of Emergency Services in Luzerne County. As the Director, Morgan will oversee the county's newly merged 911 Communications/Emergency Management Agency. The announcement regarding Morgan's appointment was made by Operational Services Division Head Jennifer Pecora on Tuesday in an email to the City Council. Morgan has served as the Emergency Management Agency Director for several years and as the Interim 911 Director since July. Her salary has been set at $92,000 per year. The merging of the two agencies was proposed in the fall by Luzerne County Manager Romilda Crocomo and approved by the County Council in November. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation, in collaboration with the Pennsylvania Turnpike Commission and the Pennsylvania State Police, has announced that the statewide Work Zone Speed Safety Camera program will now be enforced. The program was initially started as a 5-year pilot program but was made permanent when Governor Josh Shapiro signed House Bill 1284 into law on December 14th. Under the program, vehicle-mounted systems are placed in work zones to detect and record instances of speeding. During the 5-year pilot, officials say there was a 38% reduction in speeding in work zones and a 47% reduction in excessive speeding in work zones. Work zone crashes are also reported to have been reduced by up to 50% when the speed enforcement vehicle was present. Drivers caught by speeding in a work zone by the camera systems will receive a warning letter for the first offense, a violation notice and a $75 fine for the second offense, and a violation notice with a $150 fine for third and subsequent offenses. For additional information regarding the program, you can visit workzonecameras.penndot.gov. A man is wanted by the Carbon County Sheriff's Office. Jameer Mitchell is wanted on 1 count of failure to serve a sentence, which is classified as a Felony 3 offense. Mitchell is known to have ties to the Philadelphia area. If you have any information on Mitchell's whereabouts, you are asked to contact the Carbon County Sheriff's Office at 570-325-2821. Coming up on Catawba's News Choice, Ryan Prosick is back on Let's Talk Sports. Plus, we visit the Lehigh Valley Health Network EMS on this week's Wellness Wednesday. And stay right here on WYLN. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for an affordable pre-owned car or truck, Cheers Auto Sales has a great lineup of clean, dependable, and quality vehicles. Stop in at 610 North Broad Street in West Hazleton, 570-454-7229. Cheers is proud to be celebrating 70 years in business.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Tune in and see all the unique places to stay and things to do in the Pocono Mountains. Watch PTN on WYLN.
WYLN TV 35 is expanding and is on the hunt for a dynamic salesperson to join our vibrant team. If you've got the passion and the drive, we want to hear from you. Send your resume to the email displayed on your screen. Don't miss this great opportunity.
The Castle Auditorium Community Arts Center will be presenting the United States Air Force Heritage of America Rhythm in Blue Band at the Hazleton Area High School, Friday, March 15th. Doors open at 7, concert starts at 7:30. This event is sponsored by the Pasco L. Shivo Memorial Fund of the Luzerne Foundation and the Hazleton Elks Lodge Number 200. This concert is free, open to the public. Tickets can be picked up at Boscov's and Laurel Ball in Hazleton, and tickets will be available at eventbrite.com, and a limited number of tickets will also be available at the door. WYLN programming is online all the time. Visit our website at WYLNTV.com to check out archive shows and a live stream of our broadcasts. And don't forget to visit all of our social media pages for breaking news, weather, and sports. You can also head directly to our YouTube page for all our programming at youtube.com/WYLNTV35. Subscribe and ring that bell so you get notified every time there's a new show available online.
PPW Nation, get ready for the best of PPW Season 2. Join Paul Bowe, E. Julius Kuiper, Alexander Bravado, Tom Mitchell, and Alex Watt as we take you down memory lane and relive some of the best PPW matches of all time. Saturdays at 5 p.m., Sundays at 10 p.m., only on WYLN.
Like and follow WYLN News on Facebook for the WYLN News Midday Update, posted daily between noon and 2 p.m., powered by Lehigh Valley Health Network. When it's serious, there's only one health network with seriously innovative health institutes. Lehigh Valley Health Network, your health deserves a partner.
Welcome back to a Wednesday edition of Let's Talk Sports. We have a lot to get to today, but we want to preview tomorrow. We have an interview with the head coach of the Hazleton Area Girls Basketball Team, Coach Gavio. We are very excited for that one. So we're going to talk about everything from the season that was to, of course, the big game on Friday against Pennsbury, and that game will be taking place in Hazleton at the Hazleton Area High School Gymnasium. So looking forward to that segment tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun, but we're going to get into the guards and the centers for free agency. We're not going to spend too much time on them. I grouped them together. The big guys get none of the glory, but they make it all go. So got to at least mention them, and we're going to start off with Kevin Dotson of the Rams. Obviously, if the name sounds familiar, he should, because he played for the Steelers a couple of years and he got traded to the Rams and he couldn't really find his footing with the Steelers. He wasn't really that comfortable. Then he got traded to the Rams, new scenery, new scheme, and it all just clicked for him, and he's been one of the best guards in the NFL this past season, and he's going to get a major payday by a guard-needy team. And if you don't know, every team can use offensive linemen, so he's going to get quite the payday, and I'm very happy that he's going to, because the Pittsburgh did not put him in the best spot to succeed. Next up, we have Robert Hunt of the Dolphins, who is likely going to find a new home. I still think the Rams can re-sign Kevin Dotson. I don't think Robert Hunt is going to re-sign with Miami. I don't think Miami has the salary cap to do it. They had to cut Xavier Howard, and of course they're going to let Christian Wilkins walk in free agency. We're going to talk more about him when we get to the defensive tackle episode. But Robert Hunt's been a quality guard, and they're going to lose him to free agency because they went all in last year, and now they don't have the funds to resign him. And if Robert Hunt sounds familiar, you might remember him from one Thursday night football game where the offensive lineman picked up the ball and then flipped into the end zone. Yeah, it's Robert Hunt. So he's a quality guard, but he's always going to be remembered for that flipping touchdown where he was risking it all for the touchdown for his team. We also have Kevin Zeitler of the Ravens. He's a little bit on the older side at 33, but he provides a quality veteran option for whatever team wants to sign him. Maybe the Ravens want to run it back because they're looking for their Lombardi trophy with Lamar Jackson. But nonetheless, whatever team signs Kevin Zeitler on a 1 or 2 year deal is going to get a quality veteran presence in the locker room. You also have Dalton Reisner and Ezra Cleveland. I'm going to group these two together because Dalton Reisner signed late in free agency. He signed with the Vikings and he performed well enough that he actually got Ezra Cleveland traded to the Jaguars. So he took his job and then got him traded. So 2 quality options there as well. With a little bit of history tied in with each other. And we move on to center. We have Connor Williams of the Dolphins as well, but this one's a different scenario as he tore his ACL in week 14 of the regular season. So it's kind of hampers free agency potential a little bit, which really stinks because he was going to cash in. He was one of the better centers in the league this past year, and now with an ACL tear at his age, it's just not looking too bright. Hopefully he gets a nice little 1 year kind of prove it recover deal with either the Dolphins or a new team, and he gets to go to work and gets to recoup his value for the next free agency period. We also have Andre James and Lloyd Cushenberry rounding out the center group. I want to highlight Lloyd Cushenberry because he's only 26 years old. He's anchored an offensive line, and he's nowhere close to his prime yet. So Lloyd Cushenberry could be a great add for a center needy team if you want to sign him to a 4 or 5 year deal, and then he'll be 30 or 31 once the deal is over. And in other news, we also have some wide receiver talk to get to because Michael Pittman was officially tagged and Mike Evans officially resigned. So it looks like Calvin Ridley is going to make himself a ton of money this offseason, as it looks like he's going to be one of the only top options to get to free agency in a league where a bunch of teams need wide receivers. Obviously, the draft is loaded. I'm super excited about that. So much talent in there. But Calvin Ridley is going to get the chance to cash in first, and it's going to be quite an exciting free agency for him and his team no matter where he goes. And then a little story to cap it off. We have Brian Burns, who is also officially franchise tagged, but the story here is what happened in Carolina. Obviously, if you didn't know, they turned down 2 first-round picks from the Rams for Brian Burns, and for a rebuilding team, you can't really afford to do that. Obviously, Bryce Young didn't look great this past year. None of the team really looked great at all, except Brian Burns and a couple pieces on defense, and Adam Thielen, of course, and maybe DJ Chark for that 1 week late in the season. But it's really difficult for a team like Carolina to get competitive when they keep constantly making mistakes like this. I mean, the Bears just walked themselves right into Caleb Williams because of Carolina. So very questionable stuff going on in Carolina. They franchise tagged him, tag and trade. If I was doing the rankings and I added him to yesterday's rankings, he'd be number 1 by 1.5 miles, it feels like, because they just need young, affordable talent on this team, and that's the best way to get it is through the draft. And it's probably going to be a wide receiver, if I'm being honest. If it's a pick in the late 20s, maybe mid-20s, no matter what, it's going to be a wide receiver, and they might double up with their next pick in round 2. But that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We'll be right back here tomorrow with the interview, and then we'll have UFC 299 talk on Friday, recapping it on Monday, and then we're going to get back into the free agency swing on Tuesday. But that does it for this edition of Let's Talk Sports. We'll see you right back here tomorrow. Have a good one.
Your guide to everything Pocono Mountains is PTN, the Pocono Television Network. Watch PTN on WYLN.
Hey, it's Justin from Grand Central, and our trained sleep professionals are here to help you sleep like never before. With an extensive line of Sealy and Stearns & Foster mattresses, we are sure to find you the right mattress at the right price. Free delivery and removal, interest-free financing for up to 60 months, and same or next day delivery on select models.
And don't forget, everyday low prices. Stop in to one of our 2 locations, Route 93 in Escapec,
or downtown Hazleton,
and see why Northeast and Central Pennsylvania sleeps better with Grand Central.
Attention, WYLN viewers! WYLN TV can now be seen on the Hazelton Service Electric Cablevision HD tier, channel 507, and over the air at 35.1. WYLN, we're your local network.
This week on Let's Talk Chiropractic, my beloved coach and teacher Cy Fulton is going to be on the show, so stay tuned for a lot of words of wisdom.
There's no better place to shoot than Whitetail Preserve. Their skeet, trap, and sporting clay fields are professionally designed, and all stations are handicap accessible. Whitetail Preserve has resident shooting instructors certified by the NRA in shotgun, rifle, pistol, home safety, and personal protection in the home. Whitetail can also cater any size event, whether it be a private party, corporate event, or wedding. Call 570-384-2314 for more information. Hey, did you know WYLN posts news stories and other bonus content on social media all week long? The Weather Kids, Fresh from the Farm, Everyday Heroes, Let's Talk Sports, Feel Good Friday, daily news stories, and more. Visit WYLNTV.com, Facebook, and YouTube to check it out. WYLN, the local leader on social media. We're your local network.
Hi, welcome to Wellness Wednesday. I'm Lisa Marie, and I am on site with our Lehigh Valley Health Network EMS team. And we really want to share with you some great news. I'm here with Mike Probilla, who's the manager of our EMS team. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you.
So I just understood that we now are the primary provider for our ALS and BLS in West Hazelton.
That's correct.
So tell us a little bit, what does ALS mean and BLS? I know that's your terms, but most of us don't know.
Yeah, so ALS service is a higher level service. It's advanced life support services. So our paramedics are our advanced life support services providers. They're able to do cardiac monitoring, certain medicinal care that our BLS providers are unable to do. Basically, they bring the hospital to you. BLS, on the other hand, is a basic life support service. However, all of our care starts at BLS level. Basic oxygen therapy, basic vital sign monitoring, so blood pressure, pulse ox, heart rate, and your basic wound care, that type of stuff. Our BLS providers are complemented by our paramedics, and if there's a need for that advanced care, we provide an EMT and a paramedic on each ambulance. So you're provided the most basic level of service all the way to the most advanced levels.
And that, of course, would depend on when someone calls 911, what they said the situation is, you would accordingly do that. So, we're also here to talk about a membership that you have, that we've always had, but some of you may or may not have gotten something in the mail already. But let's talk about the value to people about having that membership with us.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in it, Lisa. Honestly, there's healthcare, as we all know, is a super expensive form of service at this point. Even ambulance services, which used to be a pretty low-cost type of deal when you called 911, now has become super expensive. And insurance carriers, although they're a great thing to have, they don't always pay the bill fully. So with our membership, for a small amount, depending on age, there's senior membership for as low as $55 for a family membership. And then regular family membership without any senior members is a $70 membership for a whole year. And what that provides to you is, if you call 911 and we provide transport to the hospital, evaluation, and you don't go to the hospital, something as simple as a lift assist from the floor because you're unable to get up, and your insurance company doesn't pay for that, normally we would have to bill you for the outstanding balance. With that small fee on that membership, now we no longer bill you for that outstanding balance.
So that's like insurance, if you will.
Absolutely.
That really is. It's kind of like, and I don't want to say the word, but that duck that goes, So that's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were mentioning, you have a family membership, one household, the whole 9 yards, one person, senior membership. What doesn't it cover? Is there certain things that it doesn't cover?
Yeah, unfortunately, it does not cover all services that we provide. So it would not cover non-emergent transports. So what we would consider a return from a hospital to a residence, somebody who needs services back to that. Services from hospital to hospital, hospital to nursing home, that type of stuff. So it does not cover those. Really, that's probably the only thing. Now, there is an allotment of how many times that we will provide this with the membership. So the max amount is 3 per year. So that counts as any time that you call 911 and we provide a service. So if you're transported to the hospital, that's one service. A lift assist could be a second service. And then if we treat you on the scene and you say, hey, I don't want to go to the hospital, I'm happy with the care I received, and you don't go, that would be a third service. So you're allotted 3 calls per year.
Oh, okay. So that's value right there, of course. So the other question, I think, you tell me if people ask this, but, what do I do? Say I do have an emergency, I go to the hospital, and now I get a bill from you or anyone. Like, what do we do there?
Yeah, so the membership that you received in the mail does have contact information on it. That will direct you right to our membership hotline, or direct you to our billing colleagues down in Allentown that would be able to answer any of those questions. And if you're not sure and you can't find the phone number, feel free to stop down to our building, 119 East Holly Street in Hazleton, and we'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions that you have to the best of our ability, or at least get you to somebody who can answer those questions. But most of the information that you need is covered within that mailing that you get. And I would encourage anybody who did not get a mailing, feel free to call our hotline as well, or come down to the building and we'll get you a mailing.
Oh, okay. So that's the way for you to get that. Okay. So I was going to ask you that. Thank you. So is there anything else that you feel our viewers should know about our services, and once again, the importance of that membership that we might not have covered yet?
Yeah, the biggest thing that I would probably say about our services is just, we understand that it's a time of need when you're calling 911 and it's an emergency for you. Please be patient with our providers. They're doing the best they can to get from call to call. We average anywhere between 10 to 25, even 30 calls in 24 hours with a small amount of services available. So I would just encourage everybody to be patient. Our providers are coming to you and they're going to provide the best care they can to you.
Awesome. Well, Mike, thank you so much for giving us this good information, and thank you for watching Wellness Wednesday.
If you're just tuning in, here's a recap of our top stories. The reason for the declared mistrial in the case of former Hazleton police officer has been released. Liddell Hannon is facing charges after officials say he detonated an explosion outside the home of his estranged wife's boyfriend in Klein Township in December of 2021. According to the defendant's attorney, a mistrial was declared in the case because the prosecutors had not provided certain documents to the defense prior to the proceedings. Hannon's attorney, Mark Hinrichs, said he motioned for a mistrial after it became apparent that certain documents had been withheld by the prosecution relating to the testimony of Hannon's wife, Danielle Hannon. However, Hinrichs said he did not believe the mistake was intentional. A status conference on the schedule has been scheduled for Friday at 10:30 a.m. Following the conference, a new jury will be selected and a new trial date will be scheduled. Hannon remains behind bars at the Schuylkill County Prison in lieu of a $1 million bail.
And that does it for the news. Remember, the source matters now more than ever. Catch all the latest news and updates on our YouTube, Facebook, or at our website at wylntv.com. Stay with us for a look at the weather.
You're watching WYLN TV 35.